My best friend slept with my husband and acted like I should be grateful she told me herself. She invited me for coffee like it was any other weekend. Same tone, same fake smile. I didn't expect anything. We'd been best friends for years. She was my maid of honor. She helped me pick my wedding dress. She held my hand while I cried before walking down the aisle. And then she sat across from me and said, "I need to tell you something. I don't want there to be secrets between us." That's how she started it. I waited. I thought maybe it was about her job or her boyfriend or some drama I'd have to pretend to care about. But she just smiled, tilted her head like she was being gentle. And then she said the words I'll never forget. "I slept with him once." It didn't mean anything. I just felt like you should know. You deserve the truth. No apology, no shame. Just calm, composed betrayal, like she was doing me a favor. I didn't speak. I couldn't. My mind started playing catch up with what she said, but it refused to land. I stared at her. She sipped her coffee. She didn't even ask if I was okay. I asked when. She said it happened a few months after the wedding, at her place. After a few drinks, she made it sound like a mistake anyone could make, a simple accident between friends. I asked if it happened more than once. She said no. Then quickly added, "But we did talk after." I wanted to make sure we were on the same page. We, like they were a team, behind my back, talking about me, managing the consequences. She said she couldn't live with the guilt anymore, that she was telling me because I matter, and because we've been through too much to lie to each other. She used words like growth and healing. I left the coffee shop without saying anything else. My husband was at home when I got back. He looked surprised to see me early. I didn't waste time. I asked if it was true. His face changed in an instant. He sat down slowly, didn't deny it. He said it was a dark moment and that he had felt neglected, that I had been so focused on work and always tired. I asked him if he was sorry. He said yes, but not in a way that sounded real. It felt like he was sorry I found out, not sorry it happened. Then he said something that sealed it for me. "She said she was going to tell you. I didn't want her to, but I guess it's better this way. At least now it's out." So they planned it. She warned him. They coordinated how to tell me. Like my marriage was a group project they were trying to wrap up neatly. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just stared at him, and for the first time in years I felt like I was looking at a stranger. He asked me if I wanted to talk more. I said no. I went to the bedroom, locked the door, and started making notes. Not emotional ones. Practical ones. Practical ones. What's in my name? What's joint? What's legally his? What's actually mine? What I could freeze? What I could control? Because I knew two things. I was done. I wasn't leaving empty-handed. I wasn't going to be the woman who finds out and falls apart. I was going to be the woman who finds out and handles it. I didn't touch him that night. Didn't ask questions. Didn't argue. He slept on the couch, probably assuming I just needed time to cool off. He was wrong. I wasn't cooling off. I was calculating. First thing I checked, the house. It was in my name. Bought before the marriage. Fully paid. I made sure of that when I inherited money from my grandmother. He never contributed a cent. He just lived in it. Next, the car. Also mine. Registered under my name, financed through my credit, and already paid off. He liked to call it our car, but it never was. Then I checked the joint account. He had access, but I had control. I moved everything out. Opened a new account, left just enough to make it look normal. I dug deeper. He had access to some of my business finances. Not anymore. I changed the passwords, called the bank, revoked his user rights, locked it down. Quietly, no warnings, no drama. The lawyer was next. I told her everything. No emotions, just facts. She asked if I wanted to file right away. I said not yet, because I wanted one more thing first. I wanted her to feel it too. I didn't block her. I wanted her to keep thinking I was sitting somewhere crying. Let her walk around with that smug little smirk, telling herself she did the mature thing by confessing. I let her stay comfortable, but in the background, I was building my case. I started gathering screenshots, messages, photos, anything I had. I pulled up our wedding pictures and found one with her looking straight at him, zoomed in on it. She looked like she was already planning something. Maybe I was reading into it, maybe not. Then I did something they didn't expect. I invited them both to dinner, just once, just the three of us. She showed up first, smiling of course, like we were still friends. I told her we were waiting for him, but in the meantime, I handed her an envelope. Inside, a copy of a message she sent him, the one where she said, "She doesn't appreciate you like I do." She stopped smiling. Then he walked in. He didn't say anything, just sat down. I handed him an envelope too. Bank statements, house deed, proof that everything he thought was ours wasn't his at all. I told them both the same thing. This is the only time we'll be in the same room again. I don't yell, I don't cry, I just clean up. Then I got up and left. They didn't follow me. They just sat there like kids who got caught stealing. Which, honestly, they did. Next morning, he was gone. Moved out. No note. No fight. She blocked me. Probably embarrassed. Maybe scared. Doesn't matter. What mattered was what came next. I filed for divorce. Filed for emotional damages tied to the betrayal, using the dinner and her written confession as leverage. My lawyer said it was one of the cleanest setups she'd seen. They thought I'd collapse. I wrote a legal timeline instead. Now I'm watching them fall apart slowly. No job, no apartment, no plan. Just two liars clinging to each other and pretending it was just a mistake. But I'm not done yet, because her birthday is next week and I've got one last gift to deliver. I waited until the last minute to RSVP. She looked shocked when I said I'd come. After everything, she probably thought I'd never show my face again. But people like her, they rely on shame to keep you silent. They expect you to disappear so they can rewrite the story. So they can play the victim and whisper that you just couldn't handle the truth. I wasn't going to give her that power. She booked a rooftop restaurant, classy crowd, her new friends, people who didn't know me or didn't know the real story. She was trying to rebrand herself. New haircut, new nails, same dirty core. I wore black. Nothing dramatic, just clean, sharp, simple. I walked in holding a white envelope. She hugged me like we were still friends. The kind of hug people do when they're performing for a crowd. I let her, smiled even. She said she was so glad I came. I said, me too. She introduced me to a few people, talked like we hadn't burned everything down just weeks ago. The room was full of her curated image. Polite laughter, expensive drinks, the illusion of control. I waited until cake, right after she blew out the candles. I stood up and said, before gifts, I brought something a little personal. I handed the envelope to the woman sitting next to her. Her coworker, apparently, a mutual friend she'd been trying to impress for months. Inside, color printouts. Screenshots of the text she sent to my husband. Not the one about truth and guilt, the flirty ones. The ones where she called me boring and said she was the better option. The ones where she said she wanted to replace me. A second envelope went to another friend. This one had photos. A selfie she took in our kitchen while I was away on a work trip. Wearing my robe, holding his mug. No commentary. Just evidence. She froze. Everyone stared. Her mouth opened, then closed. No words. Just silence. I leaned in and said, I wanted you to have something real for once. Then I walked out. Didn't look back. Didn't stay for the meltdown. By the time I got home, the group chat was on fire. Screenshots were everywhere. Someone posted a photo of her crying in the bathroom. Someone else asked if she really seduced her best friend's husband. No one came to her defense. I didn't respond. I didn't have to. Her image, polished, controlled, curated, shattered in one night. Not with rage, not with screaming. Just truth. Cold, plain, documented truth. He tried to text me after that. Said he missed me. Said she twisted him. Said I was always stronger and that he admired me for how I handled it. I didn't reply. He got blocked. She tried to apologize in a voicemail. Rambling, fake crying, saying she never wanted to lose me. She never had me. Not after that. Now, months later, I'm quiet. Steady, working, sleeping well. Alone but peaceful. No fake friends. No man I have to second guess. No secrets in my house. She still posts quotes about growth through pain. He moved back in with his parents. They deserve each other. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they deserve worse. But I'm not chasing justice anymore. I got mine. Because the best part? I didn't break character once. I stayed calm. I stayed clean. And I made sure they were the ones who had to live in the mess they created. This story felt satisfying in a way most real-life betrayals don't. No screaming, no public meltdown, just quiet, sharp action. The kind that doesn't make noise but leaves permanent damage. I liked how she never begged for an apology or tried to make them feel guilty. She just let the truth do the work. That kind of control, brutal and elegant. They expected chaos. She gave them consequences. And now, let's move on to the next story. I paid my mom's rent for 3 years. Then she kicked me out because my sister wanted my room. I paid her bills. She packed my things. I didn't think I'd still be living with my mom at 26, but life doesn't always go as planned. After graduation, I moved back in to save money and help her out. My dad was never in the picture. It was just us. Rent wasn't cheap. Neither were groceries or electricity. So I stepped up. I picked up a full-time job, paid over half the bills, and covered the rent whenever she fell short, which was often. She always thanked me, said I was her rock. I believed it. Then my sister got divorced. She had a baby, no income, and nowhere to go. She called my mom crying, said she couldn't do it alone. My mom, of course, offered her a place to stay. Fine. I didn't mind helping. I thought she'd move in with us. We'd make space. But instead, my mom sat me down and said, "You've been here long enough. It's time you found your own place." Just like that. No conversation, no warning, just a decision already made. I asked, "Is this because of her?" She said, "Your sister needs the room more than you do. She has a child." I reminded her who paid for the damn room, who kept the lights on, who handled the gas bill every winter so the house stayed warm. She just shrugged and said, "It's her turn now." Her turn? She never paid a cent. I was too stunned to fight. I said nothing, went to my room. And the next day, my clothes were in bags by the door. No drama, just eviction, served by my own mother. I moved out the same week, slept on a friend's couch while I figured things out, didn't ask for help, didn't send money. I stopped paying the gas bill. It was in my name. I waited. 2 weeks later, my phone buzzed. It was her. She said the gas got shut off. She asked if I could cover just this month because they have the baby. I said I didn't live there anymore. She said, but you always helped us. I told her, you made your choice. Then I hung up because now it was my turn. After the gas got shut off, they switched to guilt mode fast. Suddenly, I was the ungrateful one, the cold daughter. My mom texted long paragraphs about how she only did what was best for the family, how I should understand because my sister had a baby, and how she thought I'd be more mature than this. I didn't answer. I didn't owe her anything. I gave her 3 years. 3 years of bills, groceries, cleaning, quiet patience. 3 years of walking on eggshells while she favored my sister over and over, even when we were kids. I thought adulthood would change that. It didn't. I got a tiny apartment. Nothing fancy, no heat included, bad water pressure, and I had to carry groceries up 4 flights, but it was mine. No one packed my bags. No one told me to make room for someone else. No one treated me like a placeholder. Meanwhile, I watched from a distance as their house fell apart. They couldn't afford the full rent. My sister was still unemployed, still acting like showing up with a baby meant she didn't have to try. My mom stopped pretending everything was fine and started calling with her voice cracking. Just a small loan, she'd say. Just help with the heating, the baby's cold. That baby was none of my responsibility. I didn't make it. I didn't ask to raise it. She said, you're punishing your nephew. I said, no, I'm just not rescuing you anymore. Then I blocked her. The landlord called me next. I still had my name on one of the old utility accounts. They hadn't paid in 2 months. He asked if I could talk to my mom and get it handled. I told him, she's the one who kicked me out. You deal with her. They lost electricity next. And the internet. I knew because my cousin mentioned they were having a hard time. My sister had posted on Facebook asking for donations for unexpected financial hardship. Funny how they never mentioned the part where they evicted the one person who was keeping them afloat. I kept working, got promoted, upgraded my laptop, paid off a credit card, quiet, steady progress. Then one day I walked into a coffee shop and saw my mom at the counter, arguing over a declined card. She didn't see me. I just stood there for a second, watching her panic, watching her fumble, watching the woman who once said, you'll land on your feet when she pushed me out, finally realized she had burned the only bridge that ever held. I left before she turned around. No revenge, no speech, just absence. And it hurt her more than anything I could have said. Winter hit hard that year. I had heat. They didn't. I heard through my aunt that my sister left again. Said she couldn't raise a child in those conditions. Moved in with a friend across town. No rent, no bills, no plan. Just vanished and left my mom holding the mess. Poetic. My mom called again. From a new number. Left a voicemail saying she missed me. Said she didn't realize how much I did. Said things were too tense back then, and that she wishes we could start over. She never said sorry, not for choosing someone else over me, not for throwing me out of the house I helped pay for, not for pretending I was disposable. I didn't call back. Instead, I opened the email from the landlord. Turns out the house had gone into default. Late rent, unpaid utilities, neighbors complaining. They had 30 days to vacate. I didn't smile. I didn't celebrate. I just stared at the screen and felt done. Done trying. Done explaining. Done hoping she'd ever see me as anything but backup. She messaged me one last time when they got kicked out. I don't know where else to go. I read it twice, then deleted it. She found shelter with another relative. A tiny guest room she once said was too small to live in. Now it was home. No heat, no washer, no one paying for anything but herself. My sister reappeared a month later, this time begging for money from me. Not my mom, me. Said she knew I was doing well now, and that family helps family. I sent one text. Family doesn't kick you out when you're the one keeping the lights on. No response. Today, I live in a quiet apartment. I have savings, peace, not much space, but no one throwing me out. No one using me and calling it love. No guilt, no obligations. They burned the bridge, then asked me to come back and build a new one. I left them with the matchbook.